Hello people and welcome back. So we have had the bike finished now for about a month. Been out on about 3 or 4 rides, and we have some issues to deal with. Our oil leak has come back. Everything seems to be tight, so I'm planning on taking all this off and trying to get to the bottom of it. That's issue number 1. Issue number 2, went for a ride the other day and my back brake locked up. So I had to stop on the side of the road, undo this to let some of the pressure out, and now I've got nothing. So I'm going to take all this off, set it up over on the bench in the vise, and try and figure out what's going on. Not quite sure, but I'm sure we can figure it out. Can't be too hard. So yeah, let's make a start. Okay, so I've just made this little rig here to hold everything. I've got a little catch can I just drilled a hole into so I can put it into there so I don't spill anything. Got a bit of alley which I'm going to use to simulate the disc. It's a little bit thinner but it should be okay. And yeah, see if I can figure out what the heck's going on. Okay. I can actually feel it working a little bit. Obviously not enough. Let's see those pads move. Not much. Okay. The way that nothing is coming down and through makes me think that something might be blocked, because this is pretty full, yet kind of would expect it to be dribbling out reasonably quickly, maybe. So maybe one of those little transfer ports, I think that's what they're called, maybe one of those is blocked, possibly. Okay, let's investigate a bit further. Yes, it does. So let's get that up out of the way. Let's pull this bad boy to bits. See what we can find. There's a bit of grit and sludge in there. I think a full clean down's in order. Take it onto my rubbish bin work bench. Bit of crud in there. Good old brake clean. Okay, so what I think I found is there is, I don't know if you can see it, there's these three little holes here. And they will allow fluid in this area, when it's retracted, to come through and into this area. And they were fully blocked in with crud and goodness knows what. I didn't even know they were there. So I've just cleaned them all out, just using a bit of electrical wire, a bit of copper there. It's the right size to... So I'll put it all back together and just see what happens. Yeah. Okay, so I've had a sleep on this, and I've decided, you know what, your brakes, they're pretty bloody important. So I am going to order a seal kit. And I'm going to replace the seals in here, because back in video, the second one I ever did, this thing was seized solid, and maybe the rubbers have just all gone hard or something, I don't know. So I've ordered a seal kit. I've also ordered a whole lot of other stuff as well, so got plenty of things to do. Just noticed there was a little bit of brake fluid under there too. So obviously the seals are no good. So now if you are ordering a seal on these 8-valve K bikes, there's two different rear master cylinders. There's an 12mm bore and a 13mm bore. And the way you find out which one you've got is you have a, right there, 13. So yeah, I've ordered one of those. Cool. What are you doing, Maggie? Now in my test ride, in the final video that I did, I was saying that this thing here was vibrating around. It's not, it's actually this. So I've got to have a look at that, and I have a plan on what I'm going to do. So I got this stuff here. This came with the one of my headlight kits. Supposed to go around these things, but never ended up using it. It's like a rubber. It's like a rubber stuff with sticky on the other side. 3M. So I'm going to take this bottle out and I'm going to stick this on the inside of these rings here, and that should stop any sort of rattling happening there. So that's what I'm going to attack next. Going to change these bolts to some shorter ones. Brake clean. Residue off there. So this thing here comes in 2 separate strips, or 4. The 2 of them are too wide and one's too skinny, so I'll go for one on top of the other, see how that works out. This is tricky to say the least. Cool, let's try that. They're a little bit shorter, they'll do. Okay, so here's something you've got to be really careful of. I've just spilt some of this coolant and it's gone down inside my bolt hole there. Now if I was to crank this bolt in here, it would hydraulic in there and possibly crack something if you cranked it up too tight. So I've got to get all that out of there, and yeah. Okay, we're back in there. Ain't nothing rattling, so let's hope that's fixed that problem. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I really want to pinpoint where this oil leak's coming from. Now that pressure relief valve was loose, it's not. Everything seems tight. So what I think I'll do is I'll run the bike, get it up to temperature, and get my torch right in there and see if I can pinpoint where it's coming from before I take anything off. And yeah, go from there. Cool. And this is where my dog goes nuts when the fuel pump starts. Okay, so I don't think it's coming from where it's bolted to the block. There's a little hole up in here. Oh, that's hot, and I can feel oil up inside that hole there. So unfortunately I think I'm gonna have to pull this whole thing off and yeah, see if there's something I've done wrong or whatever. I'm not quite sure, but she's toasty hot, so I'll let her cool down before I do anything. Okay, so I found by putting a couple of blocks of wood under the tyre, tilting the bike back on a slight angle, you can get this whole oil pump assembly off without spilling any oil, without having to drain anything out of the sump. So we've got a bucket, we'll drain the coolant and then we'll whip this pump off. And I probably should get the right screwdriver. Okay. I guess it's always a good sign when it's not milky white. May have found the problem. Have I mentioned that I'm not a mechanic? You see the bolt that's missing in the back there? Okay, well that's possibly good news. Yeah, okay, what I might do is put a bolt in there and get some new coolant in the system and fire it up and just see what happens. And fingers crossed that's an easy fix. Did I mention I'm not a mechanic? Okay. Don't know how well you can see in that. Hopefully it's sorted. I'm just going to clean all this surface up with some brake clean and then stick some more of that sealant on there and clean this surface up as well and then put it all back together. Okay folks, I'm going to call this video done for this one. It's getting a bit long. I'm going to have to shoot to town and get some more coolant. All the tank's got to come off so I can refill it. That's only downfall is that the filler capper is underneath the tank. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. So yeah, like I say, I've still got a whole load of stuff on order, so there will be more videos coming. But yeah, hopefully that missing bolt was what the problem was. So I've got to clean off all this crud and get her looking nice again. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, good to be back. Okay, out of here.